Hi everybody and welcome to this week's bonus podcast with me. I have to say my own name now. With me, Michael.
We wait for you to say your name.
I was. I'm with me, Michael.
And me, Gemma.
Gemma, this is going to be a great
He's
episode.
Michael, and...
She's Gemma, and together we are Wild Stallions. This is a silly episode.
What's Wild Stallions?
Wild Stallions, that's Bill and Ted's fan, didn't it?
Oh yeah, well, together we are
Conversation Street podcast.
And today we're bringing to you a special bonus podcast about Squid Game.
We're jumping on that bandwagon. Squid Game's only going to be kind of hot news for the next...
I think the
we passed
bandwagon has been... I think it's left the station and we're...
Never mind. It's okay.
Right,
It means that everybody's had a chance to watch it, haven't they? So what we're about to do this evening doesn't sound completely and utterly bizarre to you. So, we're gonna do a good old-fashioned Coronation Street character cull today, because if these producers won't do it, it's about time we stepped in and got rid of some of them, because everybody says there's too many people on the Coronation Street cast. We've said it, everybody's said it. The cast is too big, we don't get enough time to invest in all the characters, and what better way than to trim down some of the fat on the Coronation Street cast than just to have them all brutally murdered in a variety of creative and bloodthirsty ways.
If you're not going to drop them down a sinkhole, then we're just going to have to bump them off.
We're going to have to find other ways of doing it, exactly. And as Squid Game is the hot thing at the moment, that's what all the kids are. I hope the kids aren't watching this.
They're allowed to.
Definitely shouldn't be watching this. Then yeah, we're going to do it as well. So if you enjoyed the episode that we did a month or so ago, where we did weird, crazy Christmas predictions based on names that we dropped out of a hat, you might like this one. Or maybe not, I don't know. Gemma, do you can as our resident East Asian pop culture expert, could you tell our listeners, for anyone who's not sure, what is Squid Game?
It is a South Korean Netflix show, which is, how many episodes is it? I can't remember. 7?
Ish. 8, I don't know.
Right, so it follows a group of characters who are all brought together in an elaborate death game where they have to compete against one another, with only one winner coming away with a big bounty of lots of money. And the motivation for these characters to take part in this game was mostly debt issues. And if you've ever seen the Oscar-winning movie Parasite from South Korea, you'll know that there is a big problem with social inequality in South Korea, which kind of permeates a lot of their media. And Squid Game is basically that distilled. So all the characters are very desperate to get money for various reasons, and so they compete with one another to see who can win at the end. And some of the games...
What sort of competitions, Gemma?
They are based on Korean childhood games. So a lot of them are not ones that you recognise, but universally children's games are very simple, and so a lot of them have similarities to games you might have experienced, whatever country you grew up in when you were a child. Yes.
No. If you've seen like the posters and the main promo for Squid Game, you might see a big scary doll kind of character, and that's their red light green light game, the first game of it. We're not going to be spoilery about Squid Game here, by the way.
Of the game that they played, which is not actually red light green light. It's a different game. Because we had to watch the dub because you wouldn't watch it with subtitles.
No, I didn't want to watch subtitles.
So the game is slightly different in the original language. So there are lots of games that are played across the world in playgrounds by children from various different cultures and backgrounds. And some of them are very specific to the country that you grew up in, and some of them are just, you run around and chase people.
Yeah, so in this one, it was like they were creeping up closer to this giant... this doll who was shouting red light, green light, and they had to stop when it said red light, and anyone who didn't stop got machine gunned down, basically.
Yes.
It's pretty brutal.
Yes, the Squid Game eliminates players by killing them.
And it's called Squid Game because that is a Korean game as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a wrestling sort of get to a certain area and You got to stop
It's
your
a bit
opponent from getting
confusing.
somewhere.
If you're not from Korea.
Just watch the show, you'll get it.
Yeah, we're not going to
It's not important for this
there
discussion.
aren't really any spoilers for Squid Game. Maybe one or two about the mechanics of how the game works.
Yeah, that's it. We don't want to... I mean, maybe we'll be able to convince some people to watch Squid Game
quite
after
fun.
watching this. Because it's going to be
But
exactly
we
like
thought
this.
this would be the perfect opportunity to explore not only Coronation Street, but also talk about some childhood games that we had when we were growing up, young children in England. So these are some British school ground games that might be interesting to you if you're not from the UK, and also a bit of nostalgia if you are.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of what we used to play in the playground is fairly universal anyway, isn't it? Because
really
even there's
think
some
it's
things
not
on the
really
Squid
that
Game, like
complicated.
the tug of war or whatever. That's is that a Korean game? No,
Well,
everyone
I mean,
plays that. So I'm sure there's...
Korean tug of war is a time-honoured Coronation Street game because we had very many, pub game.
Well, as Albert Techlong said, better to have tugged and lost than never tugged at all.
I think Squid Game participants would disagree.
Maybe. So we're going to
this
talk
was
about
inspired-
British...
Right.
things that we remember and
Okay.
classic British schoolyard games that are going to kill off some Coronation Street characters, basically.
The inspiration for this is basically talk about some British childhood games that we enjoyed when we were little. Talk about a pop culture phenomenon to try and get some clicks for our podcast.
if it works.
And also because we want to get rid of some characters on the show. So we together
nicely.
have picked out 30 characters from the current cast that we want to get rid of, and
Or that we wouldn't mind to getting rid of.
Michael picked the number 30, and then we went through and we picked...
Because there's 80, 90
characters.
people on the cast at the moment, so it's still going to leave quite a few.
No, but this is this is brutal.
Yeah.
Just like Squid Game, it's a very brutal television show.
I mean,
This
Brian
is-
Park's going to be nothing compared to this,
There are some characters that we are going to list that you are going to be mad about, that we have decided to get rid of. But that's all part of the fun.
Yeah. Just before we go into that, what are some things that you used to like playing when you were little on the playground? What did girls play?
What do girls
Did you
play?
like the skipping and My Little Ponies and things?
Well, so my background is I went to a mixed sex first and primary school, and then I went to secondary school, which was girls only from the age of 11 onwards. So when I was a little girl, I used to play with boys and girls together, but I think it was a really mixed bunch that I used to play with, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I became a teenager, I only really socialised with other females. So when I was a little girl...
And then you left school and you launched yourself at the first boy you could find, which is me.
Right, that'll do. I've never met another one of these before. This one seems fine. So we used to play... We used to like run around and pretend to be... I don't know, whatever was a TV show where people were killing each other, we'd play that. But I also remember we had this really elaborate Polly Pocket game, which is quite a gendered female game, where we used to... In our schoolyard, we had tree stumps that were cut from a big tree.
Yeah.
And so because they were dead wood, the edges would crack, and so there would be little sort of fissures in the wood. And we used to collect like grasses and seeds and bits of grass and sticks and twigs and things, and we used to put them inside the tree stump and make these really cool elaborate islands that our Polly Pockets would like jump between. I really enjoyed that. I think it was very sweet.
How fun, how lovely.
What did you used to do?
I definitely remember...
You played, I think, didn't you play Turtles and Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I think I did. There was definitely a time where me and my friends, Martin and Stephen, and I can't remember who was the third one in there, John maybe, would play make-believe kind of games. So we definitely played Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, where I was Michelangelo, of course, because I am party dude. And we would also play Ghostbusters, and I was Winston Zedmore in there. I don't know what the reason for that one was. But yeah, so we used to do a lot of that. But I don't remember a lot of games there was. There was... What?
I used to play marbles.
We never had marbles.
We had marbles in our school, and I got super, super into collecting them. We had all kinds of, like shinies, cat's eyes. There were all the, galaxies. There were all these special names for all these different marbles that you can buy. And cat's eyes were like the sort of low tier. You know what cat's eyes are. So when you have a
got a little stripe.
A clear marble, and inside it's like it's like kind of plume of colour, and the big, you know, the like rare shinies, like really big, kind of cool looking, pockmarked, like I don't know, like metallic looking. I remember having like a really cool, awesome marble collection, and people would like, there'd be various people at school that have like the coolest marble that everyone wanted.
And did you play with them as well as?
So we used to like, so what you'd have to do is set up a marble, and then you'd have to flick your marble at the other marble and see if you could hit it.
Yeah.
And I can't really remember the rules, but I do remember we had to have an assembly at school where the headmaster said, right, no more friendly games. You can't have friendly games, because what would happen was
blood sports only.
Yeah, I thought it was I think that's a really healthy way of sort of reining in children's I don't know, deceitfulness. Because when we play, somebody would win someone else's marble, and then they'd be like, no, it was a friendly match. You said it was friendly. And then they'd be like, no, it's not a friendly match. I won it. And so they banned friendlies, which is funny, because I think these days they would ban competitive marbles.
Yeah.
And I also remember...
Just ban marbles. Ban anything.
I remember my parents trying to teach me about Conkers and how to win at Conkers, but I don't remember many other children really being that into playing Conkers.
Well, we'll come back to Conkers later, because that may make an appearance on our Squid Games, as would British Bulldog, which was another staple at my school. But I also do remember, obviously, football was a thing, and being a boy, I was expected to have a play at football as well. And unsurprisingly, probably to most people listening, I wasn't really into that. But I do remember, I distinctly remember a conversation with my friend Stephen when I was moving from first school to middle school, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, when you go to middle school, you have to play football there." And I was like, "What? Really? I'll have to play?" And he was like, "Yeah, you'll do it in your PE lessons or whatever." And I was aghast at the very concept that I may be made to play football. And I went to middle school and I was made to play football in PE lessons. But honestly, on the playground at middle school, that's all anybody played. So if you didn't like playing football, then sorry, you just stood around at the side on the corner hanging around. So I spent a lot of time on the corner hanging around, and then I think it became a bit of a thing, and so my parents spoke to the teachers about what other things I could do, and I ended up spending quite a lot of my lunch times in middle school sitting inside typing up hymn words on our new computers so that we had word processed versions for the overhead projector. So that was my break time. I was a little bit social issues there. I don't think, again, that comes as a surprise to anybody, but definitely football was the big thing in my middle school.
Such a nerd.
Yeah, and then in secondary school time, then everybody played football then, so I just kind of hang around the ICT suite with the other nerds on the computer.
I remember
I'm not the leading expert on playground games, basically.
I remember at school I was one of the very few children that understood how to work a computer. And I also remember, like, the knowledge that you on a disc you could flick something to copy so you could copy it.
There's
or
a little thing that you could
it.
flick in the tab of a floppy disk.
And nobody else knew about this. I remember that. And the other really vivid memory I have of being in the playground was when we had lacrosse.
Yeah.
And I think in lacrosse, or maybe this was just how we played it, you had to tap. So it's hockey sticks.
Yeah.
And a little ball. And you had to tap the sticks together 3 times, and then you hit the ball. So you go tap, 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 and then whoever got the ball first, gets to run off with it. And I was me and another girl, I think her name was Hannah, we went tap, 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 whack, and she whacked the stick, and it went right into my glasses and knocked the lens of my glasses out. And if I were wearing glasses, I think I'd be blind in one eye now. So that was another really vivid memory of schoolyard antics.
I remember one where we will get onto Coronation Street in a minute. I swear, everybody.
Sorry.
There's one where we were playing a game of Rally 1, 2, 3, and I can't really remember much about that. But it was involved chasing of some point, and then people had to like pin you down and shout Rally, Rally 1, 2, 3, and then you'd be caught or you'd be out or something. And I remember somebody piling on top of me and kind of really laying into me and saying something horrible to me. And so I don't think I had the most pleasant of playground memories, basically. But it's okay now because
you've got me.
It's over. Now I rule the playground. I'm on break duty now. Exactly. I get to blow the whistle and say when playtime is over.
That's it. I decide.
Okay, so that's enough wallowing in nostalgia. Let's find out.
You're wallowing in self-pity.
I know. I think I need counselling or something. Let's find out
What does it say about your psyche that you had seems like you had a pretty antisocial school experience, and yet you decide to go back as a teacher.
Well, I was just a teacher's pet, wasn't I? So now I get to actually be a teacher.
So
Let's find out who our unlucky
We've picked
combatants.
We've picked 30 characters.
Yeah, we've
and
tried
how
to...
we did this was you went through and you picked male characters.
Yeah.
And then you said to me, right, you come through and you pick the female characters. And I tell you what, a lot more people than I would necessarily have chosen to kill off have been selected here.
Yeah.
But part of the reason why Squid Game is such a popular TV show is that you really feel empathy for a lot of the characters, and
yeah, definitely. Not everybody on this list I
leave.
definitely want to leave, but you know, them's the breaks, kid.
So Squid Game, it's come to Weatherfield. The nefarious, evil
shaped faces.
Yeah, well, they're minions in charge of this game have offered all of our contestants money to compete in death games. And
Are they going to have a Weatherfield windfall?
Willingly signed up so that they can get loads of cash for whatever their issues are. And we have picked...
This is another thing, isn't it? Because in Coronation Street, they're always having some sort of financial crisis. I think maybe when we get a little bit further onto the game and we've got fewer people left, we can decide why exactly they're in such dire financial straits. But, okay,
Can I just say, just as much as you can have a windfall, you can also have, like, an unexpected bill.
Yeah.
And I think people can empathise more with the unexpected bill part of this than they can with the Weatherfield windfall.
Sadly, yeah. Okay, so these are our contestants in the first annual Coronation Street Squid Game. So, from the men, we have got Adam, we've got Chesney, Gary, James, Liam, and that is Liam Jr., of course, Jack. So this doesn't, discriminate by age, young, old, whatever. They could be in there. So little Jack Webster. Yeah, absolutely not. Kirk is in there. Joseph Brown. Although saying that, actually, we haven't got any little babies. The quads are...
we thought it would be a bit rude to...
We don't want to fill up our numbers with 4 quads.
Shooting fish in a barrel, isn't
it? We've got who's that? Joseph, Max, Paul is here, Uncle Ronnie, Simon, Tim. I thought they had to have that there for Gemma.
Yep.
Curtis, although he could just drop dead himself. I don't think he needs to be in Squid Game at the moment. Zidane, only just back, but he's back on the list again. And Danny. And then for the girls, because I think we've got more boys than girls, but the girls, we've got Aggie. Now, you wanted Aggie, didn't you? I'm just a bit disappointed to have Aggie on here. I'm going to be maybe giving her a few hints.
We went through this list and I said, I'll say whoever I think, and then I'll go back and I'll edit them out. But actually, it ended up 15.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I literally almost all of the people that I just said, well, I'll work out later.
Okay.
Ended up being on it because 30 people out of current cast is a massive amount.
It's a lot,
isn't it? Third, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got Aggie, then Alia, Amy. Not my choice. Beth. Carla, controversial,
Carla.
Gemma, your past favourite character. Kathy, Daisy, for me, of course. Faye, Grace, Kelly.
Grace
Kelly. Lily Platt, that is. Maria, Mary, and Summer. So those are our unlucky 30 that are going to have to rely on their wits and their physical prowess and a little bit of luck as well to get down to the final one who gets a reprieve in this Coronation Street character cull. And we're going to start off with a classic childhood game, which is What's the Time, Mr. Wolf?
Explain this game to people who don't know what's Mr. Wolf is.
Again, I looked at this on Wikipedia, and apparently this is something that happens all the way around the world. But basically, you got one person who is Mr. Wolf and stands with their back to everyone else. They're at one end of the playground, you're at the other end, you got your back to them. And then they shout out, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?"
The children.
The children do, the other gang. And then Mr. Wolf shouts out 3 o'clock or whatever. And then they take 3 big steps forward. And then they shout again, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" 12 o'clock. And they take 12 steps forward. And I think maybe each time they say the time, they can turn around and look where people are.
The wolf can.
They can turn around and see, so that you don't want to say 12 o'clock when they're right near you because they're going to overtake you.
Yeah, so the idea is that the wolf catches people.
Yes, well, eventually, instead of saying what the time is, the wolf will shout out, "Dinner time!" Or maybe it's tea time in Weatherfield, I don't know. They have dinner at lunchtime, don't they, up north? And then when he shouts dinner time, he goes and chases out down the the person, and
Or
then
she.
or she. Well, it is Mr. Wolf, and then that person is the next Mr. Wolf for the round. So our version of
the
this.
idea is that the children will run past Mr. Wolf.
No, I don't know
safe.
whether it's that. Maybe it's that.
Well, if they get to Mr. Wolf before he eats them, they've won. And if he eats them, he's won.
Is that right? I don't really know.
How else
But
would it
anyway, the version in Weatherfield that we're going to do, and this is drawing a lot from the first game in Squid Game with the creepy doll, is we have got the Weatherfield. The Weatherfield recorder, as it gets out, I can't remember. Paperboy from outside the cabin. He is going to be Mr. Wolf. Now he's got a newly articulated neck now, as we've seen just recently. He's had his head chopped right off, been plopped back on somehow, but it can now swivel all the way around. So we can imagine he's at one end of the street. Our 30 combatants are at the other end of the street. They're shouting out, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" And then he swivels round and he calls out with his hand up to his mouth, blah, 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 o'clock. And then eventually he's going to call out tea time. And rather than chasing after them and catching them, he's going to blast them down with his laser vision, which he now has.
I love the fact that Paperboy's now got laser vision.
Yeah, well, he's got to be able to protect himself in case Mary comes at him with a chainsaw again, doesn't he?
Well, Mary's on the list, isn't she?
She is on the list. So
who is?
Okay, so that's the premise of the first game. And for this first round, and there's going to be different reasons that different people will be killed off for each game. We're not just going to whittle them down and then be left with our favourite. But for this particular round, we get to choose. We're going to get rid of 8 people here on our list that do not escape the Paperboy's laser gaze. So should we take it in turns? Do you want to go ladies first, Gemma, and pick anyone on our list to obliterate at this point? Who
I think is going to be too slow to escape. I think
Kirk. It could be. It's not necessarily that. It's just who do you want? Who do you not want a chance of being saved at the end?
Kirk's going to be like, "What's going on?" and then he'll be killed.
Okay, so we're getting rid of Kirk as our first one.
Kirk's
Okay,
gone.
I will remove Kirk from my list. Okay, I am going to get rid of. I haven't really put any thought into this so far. I'm going to put. I'm gonna put Danny off because I was saying last week, you can go down to London for all I care. Not impressed so far by the character of Danny. Should have taken it.
Dead.
Yeah, it's too late, Danny. Okay, who's your next pick?
Jack.
Oh my gosh, you don't want him to stay. Is he that bad on your list?
All,
You want to get rid
Michael,
of him?
There's 30 people on this list.
Okay,
and 29
fine.
of them are going to be.
That's fine. I'm gonna get rid of Chesney. He's had his
Chesney's
chance, hasn't he? You're still counting on your fingers. That's good because I've lost
We've got
count
4.
already. So we got 4 more people to kill in
Liam.
this round. Liam Connor.
Boring child.
Okay, he is gone. He's been around for a good 10 years. He hasn't proven himself yet. I mean, maybe he'll come back with a new head, but that's by neither here nor there. I'm going to get rid of. I'm gonna be bold and get rid of Alia here. I don't want Alia to stay. Sorry, you're a little bit dull. You're not the best Nazir, so you're out of here.
Got 2 more left.
2 left to go in this round. Who are we getting rid of? Lily Platt. Right. Okay.
All the children are dead.
I think really, I mean, it's a bit sad really because all of these children that we're killing off could have the potential to turn into greater characters, especially with a classic Corrie recast.
Or they could be Weatherfield Hitlers.
By this time, I'm sure that they had the chance to show their stuff. Got 1 more to kill off in this first round. I'm going to go with Curtis. He won't mind.
He'll be like, I was going to die anyway.
He's on a terminal track anyway, or is he? I don't know. Okay, so that's our first round. So we've got rid of 8 characters. So we're going to move on to our second round in just a minute. But, oh no, what's this? One of the characters that is left has been brutally murdered in the night by their co-players. Is that the right word? Because that's the thing in this game, everybody wants to be the last one standing, and it feels like anything goes. So if somebody wants to murder someone else in the middle of the night, that's absolutely fine. So I've got a little random name picker here, and this is the same one that I use when we have competitions and I have to pick a winner. So I'm just going to spin my wheel here. Who is getting killed off in the middle of the night, Gemma? Oh, it's Grace. Did you even get a little?
You should turn off the sound.
No, I think it's fine. I think we're happy to get rid of Grace. Oh, well, how did Grace get killed, and who would have killed Grace out of our characters? I mean, we haven't got. There's not so many people that are linked to. Why James?
Because he secretly always hated her.
Is he, for what he's done to his done to his brother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
Messing her up
loads of-
over the kid.
Loads of
Tiana, that's it.
rage inside him that has not had anywhere to go.
Raging James.
Because football is not violent enough for him.
Well, why not do what Corrie did and move from kicking balls on to kicking people to death? Maybe this is what he does. Does he kick Grace to death in the night with his not bad leg?
Golden.
He's got one bad leg at the moment. Okay, right. So we've now got 21 characters left. Morning has broken. It's the next day, and they're going to have a round of Gemma. Next game, please.
British Bulldog.
British Bulldog. Now, was this one that you played at school when you were little?
I think the thing is, most of these games revolve around children in the playground running from one side to the other with somebody trying to chase them.
Well, that's what this one definitely is, isn't it? So from what I remember about British Bulldog, you had your people in the middle of the playground, and then you, as a player, had to run to the other side of the playground, and if they caught you, then you would be, one of the bulldogs in the middle. But you don't replace them like you did with What's the Time, Mr. Wolf. You just, the number of kids in the middle just gradually increases as the game goes on, and I guess the winner is the last one to be caught, I suppose. Does that sound about right? So we're going to have a variation of British Bulldog, and this was absolutely one that was banned at my school for one point.
Yeah.
I think this was quite a common one to ban in British school.
Bulldog was banned at our school.
Because you just launch yourself at the person you're trying to catch and pin them down on the ground. It is it can be quite violent.
Yeah, most of these games are incredibly violent.
They can be.
I think so.
That's why they're such a perfect fit for Squid Game, to be honest.
I thought you said that's why they're so great to play at school.
So, the Coronation Street version of British Bulldog, what, Gemma, could be more British than the great institution of the Great British Pub? So for this round in the game...
Says a man who's been inside a pub about, as many fingers as he's got.
Yeah, I can count on one hand how many times I've been in a pub, probably. But in this version, we've got 4 great Corrie landladies of the past in the middle. They're our bulldogs, and we're going to have all of our remaining 21 characters trying to run from one side of the street to the other. And Gemma, who are our landladies, our epic classic Corrie landladies that will be trying to catch people today?
The 4 greatest landladies in Rover's history.
Well,
Annie Walker,
of course,
who is the OG.
She is the OG on the show.
Bette Lynch, who, her protege.
Oh, we just watched, didn't we? Just before we started recording, we watched Bette Lynch's last ever episode, didn't we? Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that sometime.
Vera Duckworth, who is the modern person's landlady.
Yeah, I don't know whether she counts as one of the best, but I love a bit of Vera. Who's next? Is it Jenny Connor? Is it Liz McDonald?
Modern world, we need a modern landlady with forward-thinking ideas. And so we've selected Toya Battersby.
Look, this is our game, everybody. If we want to have Toya Battersby as part of this, then we will.
Annie Walker, Bette Lynch, Vera Duckworth and Toya Battersby, all poised and ready in the centre of our spooky Squid Game British Bulldog arena.
I'm just imagining we're playing this on the cobbles. I think that to play this on...
They've got to run from the bistro to the
medical centre. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how Bet's going to manage that with her high heels on, but...
So you want each of these characters.
I want to see, out of the characters that we've got left, who would these particular characters, these particular landladies, hone in on? So this isn't our choice. We need to kind of look down our list and see who they would go after and why. For example, I think that Annie Walker would probably go after the most uncouth slob of all of these because she doesn't think that they deserve to live. So having a little...
Paul's a bit of a slob.
Yeah, look, we've got Tim on the list.
I think honestly, Annie would hate him.
I think Annie would absolutely despise him.
She was also a prominent businesswoman who wanted to make a political career for herself to increase her influence. And Tim, as we all know, was the primary architect of Sally's, the destruction of Sally's career as a politician.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very unsupportive and horrible spouse. So she would focus on him. He's stupid, he's lazy, he is shiftless, he doesn't respect the sanctity of marriage, which was a very important institution for Annie Walker. So, yeah.
The thing is, he probably would, line her pockets quite nicely, wouldn't he? He can't get him out of the Rovers.
She's never been one to turn away a paying customer, but equally she doesn't suffer fools gladly. And
So how is Annie Walker going to kill Tim? I mean, as our resident Tim hater here, Gemma, I'll let you paint the picture of his demise.
I just imagine her sort of sprinting towards him and launching herself like kind of Jaguar style up at him, jumping around his head so her thighs trap his neck, and then she twists around, lands on the floor, and he's crumpled in a heap because his neck is broken by Annie Walker's muscular thighs.
So,
I think many people...
Is she going to have a quote? Is she going to have a one-liner, snappy one-liner as Tim lays there dead on the ground?
No, because it's reward in itself, isn't it? He's dead.
Okay, well, from Jaguars to Leopard, so we've got Bet Lynch next on here. Who is Bet going to go after? I mean, I kind of imagine, because she was a bit of a man-eater, wasn't she? So she might go after one of the hunks here, possibly. I don't know. Who do you reckon?
I think she'd go after Ronnie. I think she'd be like, hey, you've broken too many hearts in your day, lad. I'm going to make sure you don't break any more.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine. So let's have Bet going after Ronnie. I mean, he might be her type as well, possibly. I suppose.
Yeah, but she's preemptively rejecting him because she knows that it won't end well.
You don't get Ronnie involved with the landladies of Coronation Street. I'll tell you that.
Bet is very unlucky in love, so she probably would just say, "Yeah, I think I fancy you," which means you're gonna screw me over at some point. So I might as well do it first. And of course, the way she would do that would be to kick him so hard that his tentacles go through his brain.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I was going to go for some kind of earring-related death. Like she gets all her earrings out and throws the spiked bits at him so he kind of dies in... Yeah, absolutely. Throwing those at him and maybe gets punctured, so he looks like a fatal acupuncture victim or something that's just gone a little bit too far. But either way, that's fine. Okay, so he's dead. Let me remove him from our list here. Ronnie is gone. Who's next that we've got? Vera Duckworth. Okay, so what could I mean, I'm not giving this any thought beforehand. What could sort of person would Vera Duckworth want to kill? Maybe
someone who thinks they're too good. Someone who thinks they're better than they should be. Do
you reckon? Because I was thinking it might be somebody who she thinks is maybe possibly going to go after her Jack, because she was very protective of him, wasn't she? A bit like Hilda was as well.
Hands off my Jack. Or who
maybe.
Do you think would be after Jack?
Well, I don't think anyone would be. That's the whole point. But who? Do you reckon that Beth might get accused of? I don't know whether Beth and Vera would get on very well either, would they? I think maybe the old Beth, when she was a bit more fun.
I think that they're too similar.
Yeah, but
they're very brassy, they're very in your face, they're very protective of their families. They take offence at things that aren't offensive. And I can see both of them assuming the other one was after their man when they're really not interested at all.
Yeah, you're right. Beth does think that everyone's after her Kirky, doesn't she? So is Vera going to eliminate the competition?
It would be poetic justice, really, if Beth was killed for somebody.
Okay, well, I'm going to say that that Vera is going to kill Beth by whacking her with a rolling pin to tenderise her a little bit, slicing and dicing, serving her innards as part of a pie, and having her outside stuffed like a pigeon. So I think that we've got a nice taxidermed Beth to erect somewhere on the street as a little memorial to her, which is, there's worse ways that you could go, I suppose. So really? Beth... yeah, down a sinkhole, I don't know. Right, okay, so Beth is out now. Toya, how is she... Who's she going to go after?
Have we got the right number of people left? It feels like we've got fewer than we need.
No, we're fine. Okay. You talk about Toya and I'm just going to do a quick count. I'm sure my maths is perfect here. Meat. She hates. She likes meat. She hates kind of social injustice. She likes a good protest, doesn't she? She likes sticking it to the man, maybe.
I don't know who on here is really particularly...
No, I don't know particularly.
Summer a bit... No, I don't think she'd kill Summer.
No, I don't think she'd go after her.
Simon's her nephew, so...
Probably not him, yeah. This is a bit of a hard one. Who is Toya going to go after?
Maybe she'll go after James because he is the brother of her rival, Michael. They both went for the same job, so she's already prejudiced against him. But also, he is a conspicuous consumer, isn't he? He's a footballer. He's going to be spending his money on fast cars and loose women.
I think I've got something I need to tell you about James.
He is going to be a driver of material culture. He's going to
have a flash sports car, isn't he?
He's going to be burning fossil fuels, driving around erratically.
Yeah.
His boyfriend is a chef who cooks meat. His mum is a maniac who puts pilchards in custard. There's nothing about the Baileys that's good as far as Toy is concerned. They probably don't even like wasabi peas.
Okay, well, let's...
Actually, Aggie probably puts wasabi peas in the middle of every single chocolate truffle that she makes at Christmas.
Well, that's just sacrilege to Toya, isn't it? Wasabi peas just straight from the packet. I think that she's going to gun James down with her wasabi pea shooter.
Yeah. Pew, 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 and it goes right in his eye.
Yeah, exactly.
It really hurts.
And then, mate, she's got to force feed him veggie lasagna, hasn't she? Until he just explodes in a cloud of terminal flatulence.
Like he's a goose that's going to get a nice big fat liver, and then she's going to be like, I can't even use this. I'm morally against foie gras. And you've even made it to spite me. And then she gets really mad.
I think so. Okay.
And then she rips it out and gives it to Peter.
Yes, there we go.
Would you like
Perfect.
this?
Peter, my ex-lover, have this liver.
There you go.
Okay, fine. So we had Annie Walker killing off Tim. How did he die? Oh, snap neck between the thighs. We had Bet Lynch going after... Who did she go after? She got him with a... No, Annie went after Tim. Oh, Bet Lynch went after Ronnie, didn't she?
Right, yeah.
Throwing her earrings at him and piercing him to death. We had Vera going after...
Why are you testing my memory?
I'm just catching our listeners up who maybe use their attentions wandering during this.
Properly.
Vera went after Beth, isn't she?
Yes.
And cooked her in a pie and stuffed her, and then Toya wasabi peed James Bailey to death. And we are left at this point with 17 contenders.
For his rampant consumerism.
Yes, exactly right.
Yes.
So,
and he's probably going to be the spokesperson of some horrible cheap aftershave that kills some
I think you're right. I think he
civics or
absolutely is.
for
Absolutely. I can't just realise that Gemma. How's Gemma managed to escape the?
She's not on here.
She's not on our list. But we like Gemma anyway, don't we? She's all right. It's too late now. She was sneaky about this.
I think we were talking about her, and you said that you kind of like her at the moment.
I think she's all right anyway.
She's
right.
more tolerant.
Nighttime falls on Coronation Street, and that can only mean one thing: another murder in the night. So Gemma, spin the wheel, please.
How do I do it?
Just tap it. There we go. Who does not make it through to the next day?
Alas, so sad.
Alas, it is Max. Max. What's his surname even? Max Turner. That's it.
Max Turner.
He'll be Turner in his grave now. So
I think Joseph killed him.
Joseph, why?
Yeah, because he copied his own work once. He's held a grudge ever since.
I know he's not playing or anything, but I think Daniel would kill him if he was. I'm just being a bit of an arse at school. Yeah. Okay, so we have now got 16 characters left, and the next game that they'll be playing is hide and seek. So,
do you need to explain hide and seek?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that in some parts of the globe, this
seek.
is called hide and go seek in America, isn't it?
Weirdos.
Is it or hide and go peek? I don't know. You loved hide and seek?
Oh, absolutely. Hide and seek is like one of the greatest games ever made because it's so tense and fun. And I've often wondered what it must be like to have a house that's big enough to play hide and seek. And I think
we've got one.
Do. I think you could play a really good game of hide and seek in this house.
We've got some extra surprise rooms when we show people around here, haven't we? I think
I'm
quite used to like
tension and excitement. If you've ever seen Inside Number 9, there's a
the first ever episode, isn't there?
On hide and seek, which is sardines
yeah.
where one person hides and everybody else has to come and find them, and once you've found the person, you join in their hiding place. So the idea is that, like a tin of sardines, you're all condensed together, hiding in very close proximity. So watch that first episode of Inside Number 9. It's really very good. I think it's got Olivia Colman in it.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
So this hide and seek is obviously, there are many hiders and one seeker. Yes?
Yes, normally, yeah, everyone just goes and hides somewhere, and then somebody has to hunt.
You have to
They go count down
however
from
many-
100 or whatever, and then they say, coming, ready or not, and then they come
That's
and
right.
find
Here,
them.
here I come, ready or not, is
That's
what you have
it.
to say.
That's it. So our
Isn't it so? I think it's something really comforting about the fact that childhood games are kind of enshrined in tradition. But, you know, do children still play these games? Or are they all on their Game Boys?
I mean, from what I can see, there is a lot of football that goes on at school. I mean, I'm just judging from my school, obviously, at the moment. So there are lots of children that don't like football, and there's tag still quite a popular
great.
one. Some of them just like sitting around reading.
Boring nerds.
Yeah, that's probably what I did a little bit as well. We do have an adventure playground at our school as well, so and we've got
That's
some gym
fun.
equipment as well just this past year and a half or so.
I remember at school, never mind the monkey bars, I cracked my skull open on a bench.
Did you? There's
You know
got to
how
be someone at
benches-
school that cracks their head open
Yeah.
on or breaks their arm on some piece of equipment, hasn't there?
You know how benches are generally made of like 3 slats of wood?
Okay.
Like the base of them.
Right, yeah.
So I jammed my knees in between the 3 slats of wood. So there's a gap of 2. So I put my knees there and I was swinging back and forth going wee, wee, wee. And then I let go and I just went backwards and smashed my head open with my knees trapped.
I've never had a big injury like that, but I certainly know my friend Stephen, who I was talking about earlier. He broke his arm once on the climbing frame. He broke his arm on the climbing frame because we used to do this thing where we climb up and then kind of jump off it from a height and grab hold of a bar above us and then swing to another bit. Well, I think he missed. Although he did it when I was on holiday. I remember going off on holiday one year, and this was when I was in first school, so I'd have been in year 3 or something like that.
You went on holiday during term time?
I know, but you were allowed to do it about that. You wouldn't get fined or anything. And I came back and he'd broken his arm and he had it in a cast, and I remember it was great then for playing rounders because he'd used his cast as a bat. We didn't have health and safety back then. We were all fine.
The legacy of free healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. And look at these days. We've got to wrap them all up and cut them all, haven't we? So, what is the murderous twist to this version of Squid Game hide and seek, Gemma?
You tell me.
Okay, I will tell you. So, this time I thought, who are we going to have? We're going to have all our characters, our remaining 16 characters, hiding. The Seekers this time. We're going to get some canine companions, some Corrie canines from the past are going to sniff down and basically maul to death the first person that they find.
I love it.
Okay, so Gemma, would you like to, in your best wrestling announcer's voice?
I don't have one. I'll do it
Who have we
anyway.
got?
In the blue corner, we have Schmeichel the dog.
The Dane of Pain.
Nice one.
I can't do that for all of them.
Another contender, it's David, the Yorkshire Terrier.
The Terrier of Terror. I can't think of another one for the next dog.
It's Eccles. She's named after everyone's favourite northern snack. Snack attack.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Monica.
Monica the Greyhound. The racing dog, and she's gonna erase you. Started off well anyway. I also like how we started off with Schmeichel was in the blue corner, but no other coloured corners for the other dogs.
I mean, there are
A boxing ring has got 2 corners, a blue and a red.
They generally let dogs into boxing rings.
No, maybe not, but anything goes for Squid Game. So everyone's gone and hid, our 16 characters, and Schmeichel, David, Eccles and Monica haven't eaten for like a week, so they're hungry for blood, and who are they going to find? Now, I think for this, they're going to be hunting down, probably because of their good sense of smell and everything, the characters that they're most closely associated with. So I think we need to look at each one of these one by one, and can we find out who is the closest? So Schmeichel, we've already got rid of Chesney, haven't we? So if Chesney
was an early victim.
He was. So we can't go after him. So
Joseph.
I think it's going to have to be Joseph that Schmeichel goes after. I think he smells Chesney's scent on Joseph.
Smells him and he's like, oh, I remember when I was alive, because these are all the zombie dogs apart from David. abandoned me to shack up with an annoying woman to have a baby ridiculously early. And who was that baby?
Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph.
Joseph Brown. So Joseph Brown, you're down. Okay.
Rips his throat out and makes him drown in his own blood.
I think that probably, I think he probably could have a good go at eating Joseph at the moment. He was a big dog, wasn't he?
Was so big that Joseph would just be a small snack.
Yeah, he would. So David, the tiniest dog, I think, on our list here. So have we got any plats left there? I don't know whether we do. We don't have Lily anymore.
Was Maria dated David?
I don't think Maria and David have ever dated, but I definitely think that David's scent's going to be on Maria after they've spent all that time together. So I think
that's true. That's true. They're kind of brother and sister relationship when they worked at Audrey's.
Yeah, I think that probably Maria is the closest link we've got to David here.
I can just see Maria, David. So she's hiding. And then David the dog runs up to her and she's like, "Oh, look, how sweet." And she bends down to give him a little pat on the head. But just like the real David, he doesn't like to be patronised. So he jumps up and like bites her eyes right out of her face.
I thought he was going to hump her leg to death.
No.
That's how I'd have her go.
Then she stumbles around in the dark because she's in the salon.
Yeah.
And she falls head first into a big bowl of bleach, which is what they all just store around the place to make people blonde. Because she's probably doing a highlights at the same time.
Yeah.
She breathes in the bleach and she drowns in a vat of bleach.
Alas, Maria.
And
so
Maria
sad.
And David is there just kind of gnawing on her toes.
Her carcass, yeah. Okay, next up we have got Eccles. So who have we got? Anyone related to number one here? We do have a Barlow, don't we? In Adam.
Simon.
And Simon. And Amy.
And Carla.
Yeah, so I don't think that I don't think Eccles will go after Carla. I think the link isn't close enough there. But who is closest to Ken here? Well, I mean, Adam isn't.
I think Amy's the closest because she lived there for quite a long time.
I'm just thinking, are any of these blood related? Because Adam's not blood. Oh no, he is. Adam is Ken's grandson, isn't he? Because he's Susan's son. That's a familial link there. Amy is only related to Ken through Tracy, isn't she? So she's not blood related. Carla obviously not related there, and I think that's and oh yeah, Simon. Yeah, so we got granddaughter versus grandson.
Who?
Amy versus Adam versus Simon. Adam versus Simon. Now I don't know whether either of them spent a huge amount of time together, but I would say that probably Simon spent more time.
If I'm the dog, I'm going to go after Simon.
Why?
Because Adam's bigger.
Okay, so I think probably Simon spent more time with Eccles anyway, because Adam went away from the street for a little while.
You're talking about Monica. Eccles, sorry.
Eccles, sorry, yeah. So Eccles has gone after Simon. Tragic loss. How's that gonna happen?
Simon hides in the cupboard, in the wardrobe, just like he did when Amy was feeding him that time.
Oh yeah,
and he ran away from home. So Eccles just kind of snuffles and pushes the wardrobe with her nose until it's against the wall.
Yes.
And then Simon's trapped there and he starves to death.
Oh, okay. So not mauled to death in that case then. Just
Eccles pees on him.
Yeah. He's going to drown in a pool of Eccles' wee. And finally, in hide and seek, the last victim is going to be taken from this world by Monica, the greyhound, who was Tyrone's torpedo. And where are we going to be setting this torpedo at this round? I can't think whether there's many here that are very closely related to the Dobbs family at all. Let's have a look. I mean, I think this is a really difficult. I don't think there's anyone there that I can draw a link from. Can you?
No. So we're gonna
have to have a think of a different reason. So Monica greyhounds like to go after rabbits.
She also, her family's associated with the garage.
Yeah. There aren't any garage workers here though, are there?
Gary works at the old garage.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think Gary would be outsmarted by a dog though.
It's got to be. I mean, Monica's fast, so I think that maybe this person has. I don't know. Maybe this person can give her a good chase or something. Who do we reckon is quite speedy here?
Sedan's sporty because he did cricket.
Is that all we're going for, is it?
I don't know. There's a lot of girls left.
There are a lot of girls left, aren't there?
I can imagine Kathy going, "Oh, we better hide," and then she sees Monica like, "Oh, hello, how sweet, look him, come here," and then Monica just jumps and rips her face off.
Do you reckon? I can't decide. I mean, it could be any of these, couldn't it? Go on. Do you want to pick this one? Do you want to go with Zidane or Aggie or Gary?
I just said Zidane or Kathy.
Let's get rid of Zidane, because I've got a feeling that Monica would probably like Pakistani street food, and he might be smuggling a little bit about in his person.
He's got a bhaji in his pocket.
Yeah, and that's enough.
You know, we've only got 3 men left now.
That's okay. That's
right,
fine.
delete
We're not choosing, by gender. So that is the end of hide and seek, and we've got. Let me just count. Is this right? Yeah, we've got 12 characters remaining. So at this point, I think it'd be a good moment to pause and think about why might the characters that remain be in such dire financial straits? Why are they having to join Squid Game?
Adam, Gary, Paul, Aggie, Amy, Carla, Kathy, Daisy, Faye, Kelly, Mary, and Summer.
Okay, so Adam is down on his luck after... What even did
he got involved in the drug dealing stuff, and then Ken burned all the money, and I can't remember what happened.
I mean, and now he's working as a lawyer, isn't he? So I'm guessing that he's just... everyone's wanting to go to Imran instead.
I was going to say, no, Imran's just farting around doing pro bono work while the bills are racking up, and Adam's wondering how he's going to pay for all the really elaborate extra things that they get because they're such bush lawyers.
You can't just rely on money through the post every day, can you?
Like the Nespresso subscription that they've got. Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
And they probably get flowers delivered from Freddie's Flowers every month.
Okay.
Who's going to pay for that?
I'm going to say Gary needs to be here because he's down on his luck at the old furniture shop, and everyone suddenly has finally realised that he's just selling a bunch of tat and he doesn't want to buy it. Also, he's forgotten.
Shop and get a sideboard.
We could do with that actually right now.
Yeah.
He's also forgotten the pin code or whatever to Rick Neelan's vault with all his oodles of cash in.
When Phil County was formed.
Yeah, so he needs to find another way to get his money. Paul down on his luck. Well,
nappies don't buy themselves, and he's a proud uncle of 4 annoying children.
Yeah, he's not with Billy at the moment either, is he? So he can't leech off him. He can't mooch off him anymore.
Sweet Archdeacon Cash.
Yeah. I think Aggie is here because
I think Ed's been gambling again.
Oh yeah, of course, that's a nice easy one, isn't it? She needs to do it for the sake of the family.
Do you remember that massive great big house that we used to live in? I'd like to go back there.
Amy, she's up the duff again, and she's just given birth to quintuplets, so she needs to get some money to help pay for them. Carla Barla, what's she up to at the moment? She's just drunk all her money away. That makes sense.
She wants to buy. She's drunk, but she can only drink really expensive bottles of high vintage Rioja.
Also, I think that she really, really wants to get herself a Gucci belt.
Well, she needs a Gucci belt.
Yeah.
And she needs also a Gucci bag, Gucci shoes, Gucci earrings, Gucci brooch, Gucci sweatshirt.
Gucci knickers.
Knickknacks, yeah.
Kathy's clearly been hoarding again. She's been at the catalogues.
She's racked up a massive amount of money with Next, Larry Doot and Very, and she needs to pay that off because she thought it was a bargain to buy those Portmeirion mistletoe plates.
Yeah.
And now she's remembered that Christmas only comes once a year, so she doesn't actually need them for the rest of the time. Now she's got to pay, £300 for the set.
We've got Daisy, who, as we know, that she's just been having a bit of tough time financially, hasn't she? After the MLM fell through, that she invested all in.
Who took out a loan?
Did she try to take out a loan, or did she
wanted to buy into the business? She wanted to buy into the Rovers.
Into the pub, but she didn't, did she? I don't think.
But maybe Jenny's offered her, another opportunity. And
but she needs to raise the capital to buy into the Rovers.
Faye is in thrall to a fellow lag at the prison.
Lag? What's a lag?
A lag.
Is that
yeah. She has been racking up massive debt buying Snickers and Mars bars from the commissary, and they're a lot more expensive than you might think in prison, and she also has to pay for her internet per minute.
Well, I think Kelly's probably in the same situation, to be honest, who is also there. I think they come as a team. We've got Mary, who has been what's she been doing? She when she first came in, when she first came into the show, she was really into the competitions, wasn't she? Maybe that's where she got all her money from.
She needs loads of stamps.
Yeah, she wants to buy a load of stamps to enter competitions.
Listen, stamps go up every year. Reliable fact. We know this. Why not then invest in buying first class stamps now?
Yeah.
Knowing in the future they'll only go up.
Okay.
Will they go up more than inflation? Well, that's a gamble you're going to have to take. And that's what Mary's willing to do.
I think that Summer has spent all her money on robot kits and energy drinks.
She's just spent all of her money on a robot, but she's forgot that you need the inside parts.
Yeah, she's got a nice robot case.
Yeah,
and she wants to actually make it work to take over the world or something. So that's our 12 remaining contestants, the reason that they're into Squid Game. But we haven't got time for that because we're on to the second half. And the game number 4 is Kiss Chase. Yes, one gets killed in the night. One gets killed in the night, of course. Thank you, Gemma. I'm going to spin that wheel. Who has got so close to financial... Oh, my gosh, Gary Windass. You are out of here.
I can't believe this. I think it is possible.
Finally, honestly, fate has caught up with you.
I think Adam's done this. I think Adam recognised that Gary was a fellow contender here. Because they're both,
Yeah.
There's only 2 men left. There's Adam and Paul.
Oh my god! Well, it could be either of them, couldn't it? Okay, yeah. Adam has killed Gary with what's he killed him with?
Penknife.
Haggis.
It's like, no, I don't want to eat it.
I think that he has tossed a caber at Gary's head, and he's ended being crushed by a bit of wood, much like Rana. So it's a little bit of taste of your own medicine there, Windass. Okay, Kiss Chase is our game number 4. So this one in the playground, definitely not one for be playing during COVID times, but I think they're fine now in Coronation Street, it seems. Did you ever play Kiss Chase at school?
No.
Was it played at your school?
I don't think so.
I think just the idea is if you catch someone, you have to kiss someone. I don't think people would be allowed to play this anymore.
I think it's called sexual harassment. Chase,
I think this was early sexual harassment in the playground, but it was all for fun. I don't remember whether I played this or not. I probably did. I think it was played at the school. But nobody ever wanted to catch me for some reason. I don't understand this. So for Kiss Chase in our Squid Game Weatherfield version, we are going to get some characters from the past who have got more than a few notches on their bedpost. We've got some femme fatale and some Lothario gigolo types who are going to be hunting down the people that are left. So we're going to need... some mostly men here, I think.
Need 1 woman and 3 men, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So can I really want Phyllis Pierce to be she's the randiest Coronation Street character of all time. So I think that she's going to be setting her sights on either Adam or Paul. Bad luck, you two. And for going after the girls, we'll have Lewis Archer. I think we'll set him into the ring. Do you want to pick our second guy?
I think Fred Elliott, because he was
Fred Elliott.
Serial Lothario, and he wouldn't take no for an answer.
He wouldn't. He would just he'd be proposing away at them.
I think he's the sort of person who is like really cool and sweet, and a cool laid back dude. Unless he fancied you, in which case he's absolutely terrifying sexual predator.
Yeah, definitely. And to that end, I'm going to have I think Mike Baldwin as our love rat of the ages is going to also be unleashed on the playing field here. So who do we think that these characters are going to go for? So for the boys, we've got Phyllis Pierce. Is she more likely to go after Adam or Paul? Now, we know that Percy Sugden was the one true love. Do you reckon Adam? Why is that?
Yeah, because she'd think, he's a posh one, isn't he? Oh, I'd quite like to go after him.
Oh, that accent makes me go weak at knees.
Oh, he's got his stationery set. Well, but I can do funny things with his pen.
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure.
I haven't listened to Phyllis Pierce, but...
for a few months.
So I've completely lost what she's
I mean, I think that Paul Phyllis might find a bit too, young and baby face. You might go, oh, it's chubby cheeks. But yeah, I think that she wants a real man, and in this case, sadly, it means that Adam has been erased by the blue rinse wonder. How is Phyllis going to kill him? What's her MO?
Blanket.
Why not? I think that he's going to get drowned in a vat of blue hair dye or something like that. Then we've got Lewis Archer. So he was a man of quite refined tastes, wasn't he? So
he's going to be after an older lady, isn't he? So
I think he is.
Carla or Kathy here are the oldest of these group.
But he also and Mary, yeah. I mean, I think he liked a bit of glamour, so I think he'd probably go for Carla out of all of these. Somebody with a bit of money behind her that he could fleece as well.
I think Carla's too sophisticated, and she's too switched on. She'd see what he's doing. I think she's not romantic. The reason why he got Audrey was because she's a bit of a romantic soul and she's a bit flighty.
I suppose he can't go after Carla for her money because the premise of this game is none of them have got any money. So I think she's all right there. I reckon
he'd go after Mary because she's very gullible and he'd trick her. He'd be like, Mary, come here. I know how to get out of
I've got a hotel in Greece.
She'd be like,
my mum had a hotel in Greece.
I remember her telling me about the time that she was in Mamma Mia.
You want to have Lewis going after Mary then?
I mean, she's got, she's probably the sort of person who has got loads of money secretly stashed away. I know that. What did we say she needed money for here? Stamps. She's the sort of person who just secretly squirrels away all of her wages, and then turns out she dies and she's got 100 grand.
But I mean, there is possible. What about Aggie? Because I can imagine that him on her arm at the nurses' doctors and nurses
too switched on. It's just like Carla, she doesn't suffer fools gladly, whereas Mary,
Okay, bad luck, Mary.
Sorry, Mary.
You have been given the kiss of death by Lewis Archer, who has fired his arrows at you. It's his name, isn't it?
Yes, Michael.
Arrow through the heart as pinned Mary to the wall where she dies in a pool of her own blood.
We've got one more left. We've got
two left. We've got Mike and Fred. Who is Fred going to go after here?
Can I just say Mike Baldwin would definitely go after Daisy, and she would be attracted to him too.
I think so. I mean, we're seeing on Classic Corrie at the moment going after Linda Sykes.
Bright, young, sexy things with a bit of bullshit attitude.
Yeah.
They are perfect for each other. It's just a shame.
I think she'd fall. Yeah. Daisy, you're out. You are out from Mike Baldwin.
How would he kill her?
He'd probably get her onto the cigars and she'd
choke her to death with cigar smoke. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and so Fred Elliott. So he likes a handsome woman, does Fred, doesn't he?
Kathy.
Do you reckon Kathy?
He likes it. Oh, I say I like a good sturdy woman. Yeah. Kathy, are you partial to some pies and black pudding? She'd be like, ooh, I am.
I think she would.
Yeah.
She'd
do anything for a discount and a nice.
And she works at the kebab shop as well, doesn't she? So he'd probably, I like a woman who knows how to handle a thick piece of meat. That kind of thing. So, Kathy, you're gone, I'm afraid. How is he just gonna sit on her? No, he's gonna attack her with his meat cleaver and chop her into bits and serve her in a pie, Sweeney Todd style. That's what I say for that one. Well, just like his granddad was a murderer, wasn't he, Fred Elliott? So he probably is in the blood. Okay, so we are down now to 7 characters, but of course this is Squid Game. One of them has to be killed in the night. Gemma, down to you. Spin that wheel. Who's going to be tonight's victim? Oh, it's so exciting. Summer is over.
Summer being killed in the night.
Yeah.
She's very boring. It's very boring.
Is that what happens to boring people? Watch out, you're boring. You might get killed in the night. Who's going to kill Summer in the night?
I think Aggie would. She'd be like, oh, I've been dying to do that for years. She's boring.
I think it might be... I mean, it's not going to be Paul because he does love Summer, doesn't he?
Faye or Amy.
And Kelly was because Kelly a friend of Summer's, didn't she live with her at some point?
It's quite weird that we've got out of these 6 we've got Paul, Aggie, Amy, Carla, Faye and Kelly, And out of those 6, you've got 3 very young girls who are all a similar age to one another.
Yeah, I think that maybe Amy might kill Summer just because she'd just be jealous of her.
She's very annoying.
Similar age and doing a whole lot better than her at school, and she hasn't just given birth to quintuplets. Okay, Summer, you are out. Let's see. Gemma, what is our game number 5, the penultimate game in Coronation Street Squid Game?
So this is like the one that whittles down the people. We've got Conkers.
Yeah.
So,
Conkers at school.
Conkers
British
is
classic.
a very British classic game. Conkers grow everywhere around England.
Also known as horse chestnuts.
Yeah, they're big, spiky, green fruits.
I don't think they're fruits. Seeds.
And you peel off the outside spiky bit, and inside is a big brown nut-looking thing. And then the idea is that you put that on a string, and then with another person, you flick the conker on the string as they're holding theirs dangling down, and the idea is that you break the other person's conker into bits, and then that's how you win.
Yes.
So, I remember my parents trying to teach me when I was a child about how to make your conkers the strongest, and there are lots of different methods, weren't there? There's like putting them on a windowsill so that the sun can harden them. There's pickling them in vinegar.
Apparently baking them was quite good as well. I don't know whether some people said put them in the oven, some people said put them in the microwave. There were lots of old wives' tales about how you would get your hard conkers, weren't there?
Yeah, I think this is cheating.
Or cover it in nail varnish. You might do. I mean, if Maria was still with us, I'm sure that'd be her method of choice. Yeah, quite possibly. Or just keeping them for if you got one of last year's conkers. Then that's going to do quite well. I don't think I ever really played conkers at school. No. I think it was too violent for me, and I was worried about my fingers getting hurt or something.
I don't think we're allowed. I don't think anyone wanted to play conkers.
This was another one that absolutely got banned up and down the country, didn't it? In schools everywhere because
people would flick them in each other's eyes.
Yeah, you'd get a conker whacked around the head. I mean, this could be a violent weapon. If we weren't allowed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Michelangelo's nunchaku, and he had to have something else in this country, I don't think you can trust British children with conkers. And to be honest, I've not... Ever since I've been a teacher, conkers has never been a thing. So I think like as many of these games, to be honest, it's on the wane.
They have to tamper down the spirit of the British children, because otherwise we grow up and just carry on colonising the world, and
absolutely,
people get mad about it when we do that.
So unlike all the other games so far, there's nothing bloodthirsty or murderous about this particular game of Conkers. The catch here is that you've got 3 people will remain and 3 people will be eliminated. So I meant to get a coin. We're gonna have a coin toss here to decide who loses Conkers. I might have to go running off to get. Have you got a coin? Have you? Okay,
2 pence piece.
Lovely. So we are going to pair up some characters here, and we're going to pair them up to be who we think might be friends, maybe. I don't know.
So they'd say, right, everyone get into pairs.
Everyone get into pairs.
And you'd think, let's get.
I'm going to pair up with my friend.
And
then they say, aha, one of you is going to be.
We've got Paul, Aggie, Amy, Carla, Faye, and Kelly.
Okay, well, I mean, Carla and Paul do work together at the factory, or they have done in the past. I can't see whether Aggie is teamed up with anybody particular here.
Can I just say, I think Carla and Aggie would team together because they're both the oldest 2 women, and I think they would sort of look at each other and be like, look,
yeah, okay,
we'll team together, up the sisterhood, let's go. Paul's a bit younger. I think he would go with Kelly.
I am right in saying that Kelly lived with Summer for a bit, didn't he? And was Paul there? He might have been there at the same time. I can't really remember.
And then I think Faye and Amy, because they're very similar.
Both teenage mothers.
Yeah.
Although only one of them actually managed to go through the whole pregnancy. Okay, so we've got Amy and Faye, Carla and Aggie, Paul and Kelly. So let's kill off our first one here. So Paul and Kelly, Gemma. Paul, heads or tails?
Paul is heads.
Paul is heads. Okay, flick him a coin, and it's heads. So Kelly, you're out. You have lost this game of Conkers, and now you're going to be bludgeoned to death with one of the spiky ones. Aggie and Carla. So who?
Aggie's heads.
Aggie is heads on this one, is she? Like let's have a look. Ooh, go drop my coin. It's heads. It is heads. So
Carla
Connor is a
Barlow's
goner.
gone.
Yeah, and finally we have got Amy versus Faye.
I'll let you pick this time.
I'm going to have.
It's got to be tails now, surely.
It doesn't work like that. I'm going to have. Oh my gosh, the drama.
I bet you it's tails.
Amy is going to be heads here. Amy is
I bet
heads.
you it's go on.
Okay, let's have a look.
Tails.
Oh. It's heads again, 3 heads in a row. Faye is out of
Faye's
here.
dead.
Sorry, Faye, we haven't really missed you since you've been in prison
Well,
anyway.
can I say, I don't want to be rude, but what a lackluster trio to remain.
So,
Paul, Aggie and Amy.
one of Paul, Aggie and Amy.
have to
I know
tell
which
you,
character that I want to stay here,
At the
to be
beginning
honest.
of this show, I was totally rooting for Gary to make it through to the end.
Oh, sorry.
Because I love Gary. I think he's great.
He got off by Adam, didn't he? Or was it the other way around?
The night.
Yeah, I think so. But speaking
Well,
of
who do
being
you want to
killed
get
in the
through
night,
then?
Amy. I'm rooting for Amy here. I
think I want Aggie to win.
I don't mind. I'm thinking as long as it's not Paul. But one of these is getting killed in the night, and I think we need to
it's
spin this
only 3.
wheel to find out
Okay.
who is not going to make it to the dawn of the final day. Gemma, spin that wheel. Who have we got?
Oh, it's so tense.
Oh, yes, Paul is out.
Paul's dead.
Sorry, Paul. It's a girl fight for the final round. Paul, how has Paul died? Has Aggie fed him some of her famous pilchard pie? No, that actually doesn't sound like it too bad.
No,
pilchard and chocolate.
Oh my god.
Pilchard and Marmite pie, or
Pilchard Marmite and chocolate with a mash made of escargot and caramel.
Yeah, I think that Aggie said, "There's only room for one gay on this street, and it's my son James." So
That's not how it
although
works,
he's already
Aggie.
dead, actually.
You need to be happy.
Or would Amy have killed Paul? I can't
No.
particularly think of a
We're
reason for
blaming
this
Aggie.
one. Yeah, I mean, she is a nurse, isn't she? She probably
she's
knows
killed a man
many
before.
ways how to kill. That was an accident, Gemma. Just didn't give him the
That's
right
what she
medicine or
said.
something.
Oh dear, Paul's
Whatever the
accidentally died in
reason,
the night.
Aggie has killed Paul, and that leaves for the final round Aggie versus Amy. And I don't know how we're going to choose this one, because the final rule, we had to pick a 2-player game here. We're going to end with a classic game of Thumb War.
Thumb Wars.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Let's do it here.
Let's do it. Gemma and I can have a thumb war.
So hang
Okay.
on. Who's going to be Aggie or Amy?
Oh, is this how we're going to do it?
Yeah,
Are we
I think
actually
so.
going to have a
Can I
thumb
just
war?
say,
You know
my
that I'm
thumb-
going to win here.
Yeah, you will. My thumb has been dodgy recently.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
listen.
Oh, my dodgy thumb.
When I open my little chapstick, I can't do it like this. I have to do it like I can't use my thumb. I have to use my 2 first fingers.
Can you think of any particular reason why Aggie or Amy might win a thumb war here? I don't know whether either of them would have particularly
Aggie
more
will win
developed
because she's bigger.
thumbs. She's
And she's older.
She's also used to
She knows
unscrewing all
tricks.
those child locks on her on her medical
Amy's still
medicine.
asking Tracy to open her paracetamol.
Or maybe Amy has
let's
to
be
open
honest,
all of Tracy's.
Amy's been opening Tracy's
Yeah.
pills for
Or for her kidney
since she was
medicine.
5.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, then I'll be Aggie and you can be Amy. If we think that probably Aggie's going to win this, I will give you a game of thumb war. And I'm
Okay,
not
right.
gonna hold out on this, Gemma. Right.
Oh,
You
no.
ready, Amy Barlow?
So your thumb is twice the size of my thumb. And we're the same size.
Right, this is it. The finale of Coronation Street Squid Game. Aggie versus Amy. You ready, Gemma?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Jesus.
Aggie wins. Sorry, you're right. I need to cut my fingernails there. Aggie wins. Aggie gets the reprieve. Aggie gets the Weatherfield windfall. Amy, you nearly made it. Yeah, last one there. Good try. She is eliminated. Aggie Bailey, you get to... I think you get to go and clean up the battlefield, actually, Aggie. Go and tend to all the wounded soldiers and maybe harvest their organs. Can you do that? Is that part of your nurse training?
Then you get the extra money on top.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. She gets a bit of a bonus, doesn't she? What is she going to spend her money on? Just fixing Ed's gambling problem? I don't know whether I would. I think if I was her, I'd go off with somebody else because he might just spend it again.
Money doesn't fix gambling problems.
No, exactly. So
I just did a quick I did a random thingy on Amy versus Aggie.
You did a spin.
And it came out as Aggie, so she was destined to win.
Oh, there we go then. I know, you know what, I'm quite pleased because I don't mind Aggie. I think I quite like her, actually.
I like Aggie.
I like Aggie, so I think, yeah, that could have been a lot worse. If somebody like, you know, Max had ended up winning, I think I'd just been a bit disappointed there.
If they tweaked Aggie a little bit, she'd be much... Like, her quirk is... We always make fun of her quirk of putting stupid ingredients together, but if they put a bit more thought into her weird culinary creations, like, I don't know, like she's trying to make, she makes gravy but she puts chili jam in it, or you know, like she gets Greg's vegan sausage rolls but she peps them up by wrapping bacon around them to make them taste nice.
Yeah, that
kind of silly, kind of frivolous, but a bit more thought put into it rather than just random flavour combinations.
See, I don't think that they go too heavy on Aggie's silly culinary skills recently. I think that really she's quite a decent, solid character. We've seen her caring side through the COVID. We saw those lovely scenes with Ed on the video chat when she was living with Auntie Corona.
We've liked the line that she had the other day where she's like, I can't get arrested, I got a casserole.
Yeah, and she had that great scene with Sally when they were going around the table with working out their strategy for the parking.
I think they're trying to put her in more scenes, and I think the same should be true for the rest of the Baileys.
Well, they'll be able to now, won't they? Because they're now 30 characters down. Aggie's going to get centre stage.
Her poor son's died.
Yeah, she's still got Ed. She's still got Michael. I mean, Ed was quite lucky, to be honest, to avoid the long list here. But and Gemma, I can't believe that we didn't end up with Gemma on the list.
You specifically said you didn't want Gemma to go in this. I
Well,
just want to remind you what.
Other people can play this game themselves as well, can't they? If you like this idea, you make your list of 30 characters and then use the same criteria as us and spend. Well, how long have we been doing this? Hour and a quarter.
We spent a lot of this time reminiscing about our childhoods in a really boring way.
No, people enjoyed it. Should we just have a final? Rest
in peace.
Yeah, the characters that have fallen along the way.
This is like the Oscars when they have their
here's who we've lost this year. Gemma,
Adam, Chesney, Gary.
If I could be bothered,
James.
I'd be putting some sad music here, but I really can't.
Liam, Jack, Kirk, Joseph, Max, Paul, Ronnie.
So sad.
Simon, Tim.
We hardly knew you.
Curtis, Sedan, Danny, Alia, Amy, Beth, Carla, Kathy, Daisy.
In such alphabetical order.
Faye, Grace, Kelly, Lily, Maria, Mary, and Summer. Thank you for playing
Comes it not
Squid
forgotten.
Game.
Thank you so much. I mean, you tried to get your Weatherfield windfall, but alas, luck was not on your side.
Nope, sad times.
You're 29.
You're dead.
But
Move
congratulations, Aggie. You got another chance on the street, so don't let us down,
If
love.
you could have picked anybody from this list to save, if you were like, we've got this Good Game God, who have you picked? Because I definitely would have picked Gary.
You'd have gone for Gary. I definitely wouldn't have gone for Gary.
Well, you're the one that put him in there.
Yeah, I know.
Because you picked the men and I picked most of the women.
It's hard, actually. I mean, I've got a bit of a fondness for Kathy, as imbecilic as they make her sometimes. And Melanie Hill is a very lovely lady, and a very talented actress as well when they give her the right material. So I'd quite like to save Kathy. I feel bad that Carla would be going because she has been such a great character.
I know, but
Amy, I
everybody's
also
got a
love.
shelf life. I really like gazpacho, but I don't keep it in my fridge for 5 years.
Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah, I mean, Aggie would be fairly high up there, to be honest.
What, to keep?
Yeah, to keep.
Yeah.
And like I say,
I'm really attached to Aggie now. I feel like I'm protective over Aggie now. Me and her have gone, and we've all gone through this process.
We have.
Really traumatic. We've got PTSD from it and everything. Watching all these people getting chewed alive by Yorkshire Terriers and stuff. And now Aggie and I and you, we've got a bond, haven't we?
See, I know she made it to the final, and I was going for Aggie at the end, but I quite like Amy as well. We have really loved Amy in the past, and I think the only reason maybe we're a little bit down on her at the moment is because they haven't given us stuff to do. But she has been brilliant, and I do think that Elle Mulvaney is cracking, and I think that when she gets old enough, and they're going to give her a proper stories. They tried with the pregnancy story, and that fell flat on its face. But I honestly I think that Amy could grow to be a really good, fun and tricksy sort of Coronation Street character, a bit of a chip off the old block of both Tracy and Blanche, to be honest. So I think either of those two. So I certainly didn't engineer them to be in the final. I don't think that could have happened. That would have had to have. I'd have to have given it a little bit more thought there. But yeah, I'd have had either of them when I'd been happy with that. But I think we're done, Gemma. Same time next year. Back for season 2.
If you've watched Squid Game, you'll know that there's a variety of really cringy American, like, what's it called? Watchers who like bet on it, and that's you who are listening now. Yes,
I wonder if any of our listeners had any of our I know our name kind of pegged for the start, going, I'm rooting for Danny.
Comes through. He's the top chef in Weatherfield after Robert died.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if we need to put him and Zidane, put them at loggerheads and give them sort of an Iron Chef kind of deal. But in the afterlife, maybe they can do that. I think we're done, Gemma. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. I do like the silliness sometimes. We need to do more things like that, because both that and the Christmas predictions that we did recently was both very silly, and it didn't require a whole lot of planning, and lots of smiles and lots of laughs. I assume if you made it to this far, you must have enjoyed it, because there is a pause button and a delete button on this. So thanks for sticking it out. And
Tell
did
us
anybody?
Who would have saved? Yeah, who would have been first on the chopping block?
Is there anybody on our long list, or that wasn't on our long list, that you would have absolutely put on yours?
Yes, exactly. And also, do you have any childhood games that you would like to put forward for next year's Squid Game?
Yes, any of these things, absolutely fine. Or maybe we should do it next year with a if we were to do this again, just with classic characters or something. Because when we came up with the idea of Coronation Street Squid Game, we were like, how can we actually do this, and like, which characters are going to be involved? And then it was only a few days ago where I thought, well, let's do it as a character cull. But yeah, I reckon having something like this, but for older characters, could certainly work as well. So.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you at the weekend with our... Well, it'll be sooner than the weekend.
It won't. Well, I think we'll still record on Friday, to be honest, because...
Oh, great.
Well, I don't do a midweek record. Maybe Thursday, I'll have to see. I'll have to see how my schoolwork's going. I was excited about
having a Friday off. I was like, what should we do?
We'll discuss this later, darling.
Yeah, I think we will have to.
Yes, because Coronation Street, I didn't mention on the podcast last week, is Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday this week, because of the football. And and then a long weekend.
Daily.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Jude Jordan's just sent us a tweet saying thank you. What are you thanking us
Michael.
for? Right. Time to go. Goodbye, everybody. Ta-ra for now.
Bye.